All right.
All right.
Go ahead, Kirsten.
Thank you. Thank you, Leslie, and thank you to all of you for joining us tonight. My name is Kirsten Conrad, and I've been the extension agent here for Agriculture and Natural Resources since 2007. I want to welcome you tonight to our orientation session. I must say our first ever Zoom orientation session for Master Gardener volunteer training. I'd like to take an opportunity in just the first few minutes of your time to tell you a little bit about what this training is about. Most of you will have had some orientation, through your reading and through the website already. But we're going to go through a few slides and tell you a little bit more about what we do. First of all, the Master Gardener Extension Master Gardener program has been in existence since 1979 when it was started in the state of Washington. And it came to Arlington very quickly. And we have had a program going since the 1980, 1981 timeframe. And we are getting better and stronger every single year. And it's very, very fun to watch the growth of it in the time that I've been here, and to see the development of our skills and talents and the many projects that we have going. I'd like to tell you a little bit about what some of those projects today and tell you a little bit more. First of all, this is an outstanding group of volunteers that you are interested in joining here. And Cooperative Extension is perhaps best known for being the best kept secret in town. But the awareness of people about the things that we do is growing, and that shows in the award-winning program that we do have. Up in the upper left is our 2016 Master Gardeners Northern Virginia President, Dorothy Acosta, who accepted the award on behalf of the Master Gardeners of Northern Virginia organization in 2016 from George Mason University. The Green Patriot Award is given for those organizations and individuals making a positive difference in the community. 2019, we were voted Best of Arlington for free gardening advice. Never mind the wags who said that we were the only ones offering free garden advice. So this is a wonderful thing that we are doing. Over here on the right side, we have two volunteers who have won the premier environmental award that Arlington County Parks offers. In 2015, it was Judy Funderburk who won this award. And in 2019, Elaine Mills won this award for their work as Master Gardeners. And we're very proud. I'm very proud of the work that this organization is doing. And I'm very pleased with the interest and the awareness that keeps building about the program here in Arlington and in Alexandria too. I'd like to tell you a little bit about what we do. This is a slide that shows the VCE, Virginia Cooperative Extension, ANR program. And ANR stands for Agriculture and Natural Resources, which, as far as the extension program is concerned, is part of what I do here. This is Agriculture and Natural Resources, and my work encompasses not only environmental horticulture, which is the sphere where Master Gardeners do their work, but also natural resource conservation, and of course the green industry work that is so important to making sure that the industry service providers are following best management practices. Extension Master Gardeners do a lot of things in all these fields. They're out there advocating for green industry best practices with their landscape, HOA landscape committees. They're out there over here doing natural resource conservation with invasive plants, education, tree canopy coverage, and so on. But most of what we do falls in these categories right here. So the Agriculture Natural Resources program includes the Master Gardeners Volunteer Program. And these Master Gardeners do a number of different things. They do demonstration garden work. Okay, we're going to hear about some of these projects today. A lot of Master Gardeners doing 4-H and school gardening work. This is a combination with our 4-H program, which is another agent level position in our offices. We have the Sustainable Landscape Management program over here, talking about how we protect the environment and plant trees, sustain water quality, reduce pesticide use. There's a little area here that some of our Master Gardeners are engaged in improving the health and quality of life. And I also think that this includes the kind of community outreach that we do to special events and organizations seeking to provide new outlooks and new activities for the employees. Here's food, nutrition, food production and nutrition, and urban agriculture, as you all know, has had a huge boost this year with COVID-19, and more people are doing vegetable gardening or trying their hands at it than ever before. So this is a huge area that we are educating the public on. The annual volunteers program is supported by a number of agencies and local governments. We have the City of Alexandria that's providing us with space to have our demonstration garden in Alexandria. We work with a number of different community gardens in Alexandria. Of course, the Arlington County government provides us with our main support and our office space and our help desk space. The Master Gardeners of Northern Virginia, which is a partnering organization, and supplies much of the support and the camaraderie that you as an Extension Master Gardener will be enjoying. And of course, the Virginia Cooperative Extension as the state level organization, which is an outreach from Virginia Tech and Virginia State University, provides specialist levels. They provide lab support, they provide publications and much of the educational materials that we use for the training. So some of the things we're working on are local issues, local needs. The wildlife habitat is a huge area of interest. Pest management is also a huge area of interest. The deer population is in overdrive at the moment in Arlington, and there's a significant group of environmental volunteers who are working to address the need for deer population management. Many other of our wild animals become pests in the garden, and we get many, many questions every year about squirrel control, voles and moles. And of course, on the other hand, we also get many questions from people wanting to know how to encourage wildlife in their garden and how to encourage bees and encourage and support pollinators. The Arlington Urban Forestry Master Plan is another area that we are trying to support. One of the more exciting projects that we've started in recent years is a program within Master Gardeners called Small Trees Make Big Canopies. And this is, you can read more about this on the MGNV.org website. But this is a project that 2 of last year's interns came up with, and it's taken on a life of its own, where they are collecting small seedling trees, native seedling trees, and making sure that they get out and find homes. The VC support for Arlington Alexandria Natural Resource Management Plan also has us working in concert with another partner organization called the Arlington Regional Master Naturalists. Both the Arlington Regional Master Naturalists and the Tree Storage Group comprise the other 2 major environmental resource organizations in Arlington and Alexandria. And there's a lot of really good stuff that's crossing over. One of those areas is mosquito and tick pesticide management. So this is a really great cooperation between 2 agencies to try to get out get out the word to more people. So important work. I mentioned tick and mosquito control. We have volunteers from both Master Gardeners and Master Naturalists out there. This picture happens to be from our help desk, microscope computer camera. And this is the kind of help that we are providing to people that bring in insects and so on and ask us, what is this insect? What is this pest? What is this disease? So another big area of support, really big this year, is the Urban Agriculture Task Force efforts that are going on in Arlington. This has been a particular interest of mine since 2008. And the growth of the urban agriculture program in Arlington has been phenomenal. And next month is Urban Agriculture Month. Please tune into the VCE website for all the exciting presentations. We have about 20 different activities planned for Urban Agriculture Month. that are spread out across the entire month, and you can register for these events on the VCE website. Waste reduction is a huge important issue in Arlington, and the education that we provide to people about composting their yard waste and kitchen waste is utilized in many, many homes across our area. Finally, I wanted to tell you about the Extension Master Gardener training. Leslie's going to tell you a little bit more about that, but these are the topics that we are covering during most years of training. Everything from the basics of botany all the way down to some landscape design classes. Along the way, we talk about water conservation and stormwater management. We talk about woody plant material, woody trees and shrubs, and the care and maintenance, including pruning. There's a lot of information about pest management, insect ID, plant disease ID, and diagnostics work that we will be doing almost every day as a master gardener. So there's a whole world of knowledge here, and we do not pretend to imagine that you will become experts in any one of these things after you take this training. But we hope that you'll find something that spurs your interest to learn a little bit more. And I think that the folks who have come to the program and who have stayed and who have become very successful at it are successful because they have chosen one area and they've honed their skills. And they've gotten very good at knowing, they've become an expert on pruning, or they've become an expert on pest reduction, or they've become an expert on lawn management. So it is possible, and you will learn a lot. Being a VC volunteer requires you to cross out check off some boxes here, okay? Leslie's going to talk about this a little bit more, but you have a volunteer registration form that we need to have on file, and this is an annual form that needs to be completed. You will have a minimum training that is dictated by the State Master Gardener Program. There is a risk management training and a background check that we are required to ask all volunteers to undertake. All of this training is offered during the basic training and every year thereafter. So you don't need to go looking for it. But in return, you also have liability coverage for all approved activities. It's something you'll learn about in class. You will be using research-based information for teaching to the public. And that is the mission of Master Gardeners. Extension Master Gardeners are educators. They are not weed pullers. They're not invasive plant removal experts. But they are educators, and I think that that's one big difference from other volunteer groups, is that we are educators and we leverage the teaching that we do with the teaching that you do, okay? This is all the projects you'll be hearing about coming up here, and also during tonight. It will also be reported in something called the Volunteer Management System, where there's a whole record-keeping system for entering your hours and training. And of course, we want you to be very successful at this. So many Master Gardeners have used their training to sell their skills. But we don't want to lose you as a volunteer, because at the same time, we cannot allow the Master Gardener title is not used for, you can't use it for advocacy. You can't put your Master Gardener hat on and say, you know, this is, we believe that you should do this and such out in the government, okay? We'll talk about that more. But anyway, it's a wonderful hat to wear because people recognize the title of Extension Master Gardener. And when you finish with your training, you get certification. And certification, you get a badge. When you go from intern to Master Gardener, you get a shirt that identifies you as a Master Gardener. Certificate, you get to go to Master Gardener College. I think Joe's going to talk about that a little bit. Community recognition, and of course, you get to have Virginia Tech staff status. They consider us all unpaid, you all volunteers, unpaid staff members of Virginia Tech. How about that? We're going to hear tonight about the Master Gardeners in Northern Virginia, the support organization that we work very closely with to support the work that Master Gardeners do. There's some of this funding, they raise money, they can do some advocacy that Extension cannot do. And let's say just a fine group of people that you put in an awful lot of hours. And those hours add up to a lot. These are the 2019 hours that Master Gardeners put in. They spent over a total of 18,600 service hours. And this is a small group of people to be doing that much work. Now that speaks to the passion that these members of this group employ. Here we deploy. Here's continuing education hours, 4,700. The public education and social media team together put in about 4,300 hours. The help desk and plant clinics. These are all outreach efforts that services that are provided directly back to our community. And the value of these hours is recognized by the schools, it's recognized by local government, it's recognized by our park departments, and of course by our recreation programs across both governments. Help desk is one important area that we do a lot of outreach in. In ordinary years, this help desk is operating at the Farrington Community Center. And of course, we also have the weekly plant clinics that operate normally from April through October in various locations. But the horticulture help desk, which is a daily occurrence at the Farrington Community Center, and now remotely, simply over the telephone, over the computer, has been operating nonstop on a daily basis. And some of those things that we have a chance to look at are things that we haven't seen before. And this is for those of you who like the discovery work of learning new things. This is the #1 activity that I can recommend to you, because there is not a day in the 2 days in a row that you won't learn something new. Boxwood leaf mite is very common here, the mustard sour caterpillar. Every day there's something new, and it's a really great way to learn. We get weed identification questions. We get plant disease questions. We get a crazy stinkhorn fungus eggs on the right side there. It's a wonderful thing to do the discovery work of the help desk. Online resources at mastergardenersnorthernvirginia.org are an award-winning program that have been recognized across the state for the quality of their materials. And of course, the quality of the materials is also recognized by green industry, who is, many of whom have come to us and said, hey, those are great stuff, can I use it? So this is a wonderful group of people we've got here. The demonstration gardens, we've got two gardens at Bonnier Park in Arlington. We've got one at Glencairn Library Garden, which is a beautiful garden. What's going on here? We have Simpson Park Garden in Alexandria, and of course the Potomac Overlook Vegetable Garden in up in northern Arlington County. Well, it wants to keep going back. Here's the Farrington Tribute and Teaching Gardens that are located at our Center of Operations at the Community Center. And these are all of them are very beautiful gardens. We do a lot of special events, but wants to keep going on here. I'm gonna keep going back here. A lot of special events off-site. This is the Arlington Food Assistance Center Spring Garden and Kickoff that was done a few years ago. And of course, those badges that Dorothy Acosta is wearing in this picture are what you get when you get certified. And you will have a badge as an intern as well. But those badges are very distinctive and recognized across the community, and we encourage everybody to wear them. Here's the Central Library. This is a partnership with the Arlington Food Assistance Center that has a weekly education program in previous years, and we hope that will continue. Here's the Ruby Tucker Community Center down in Alexandria, where we have had a youth gardening program going for the last, I believe, 11 years. Very exciting to see what's happening down there. Many of the Master Gardeners are involved with youth education in community schools. And this is a partnership and also with the 4-H program. And of course, we have a Neighborhood Champions program that was also started, that we just featured in the Master Gardeners of Northern Virginia website. This is an outreach effort throughout the community that was instrumental also in helping to support a seed distribution program this spring, when we had to extract all of our free seeds from the Fountain Community Center. Here we have a program that took place a number of years ago at the National Arboretum, where we talked about lawn care. And that's Joyce Hilton standing behind the table on the left side with various sods, different kinds of sod samples that we had. We also have the Arlington Home Show. This is an annual event that takes place now at the Kenmore School. It's a fabulous project that we usually have 4 or 5 displays for. And all of these projects have been canceled this year because of COVID-19. And so I'm feeling a little nostalgic looking at all these pictures. At any rate, we also have projects in Alexandria. This is an old picture of Alexandria Earth Day, which is now at the middle school down in Alexandria off of Braddock Road. Here we have the Arlington County Fair, which is a huge event for us. Not only do we do the competitive exhibits, where we judge and administrate the competitive exhibits for flowers and vegetables, we also have the big booth. And Master Gardeners help to organize and put up a large booth of educational displays for fairgoers. And then, of course, the Urban Agriculture Symposium, we did it here ourselves from 2015 to 2018, and then we started doing combination activities with Virginia State University. And I do want to remember to tell you that Virginia State University and Virginia Tech are partners in cooperative extension. And those are the 2 land-grant colleges in Virginia that support the research that we use to educate the public with. Lots of continuing education is offered through the organization. We have a fabulous continuing education committee that puts together great educational activities. And of course, there's much online continuing education, which is highly valuable. Finally, why would you want to be an Extension Master Gardener volunteer? You've got garden center discounts through MGNV membership. You've got tremendous fellowship with other people that share the same interests that you have. There's plant sharing and sales that you can take advantage of. And of course, I love this one, hive mind benefits. Okay, that's everybody that comes together. Oftentimes there's an email that says, what is this plant? What is this insect? What's happening to my plant roots here? What's happening to my zucchini? And somebody has the answer. And it's really wonderful to see that kind of cooperative and collaborative learning going on. We also have access to higher education resources at Virginia Tech and Virginia State University. And of course, there's tremendous opportunity to be engaged. What these volunteers are doing is making our communities nicer places to live. I'm telling you, it's wonderful to see the changes, and it's wonderful to hear people talking about the benefits that they get from this program. Here's a picture of a training class, a continuing education class that we went to see the water treatment plant, and notice the PPE that they're wearing, the hat and the vests and so on. And liability coverage is provided for Extension Master Gardeners, provides protection for our volunteers, but it also provides assurance to our partners that we work with and who we visit, that we are professionally minding the responsibilities of our work. So finally, the fellowship is wonderful too. And this is a quick picture of a home visit that we made to an intern, a trainee class, class members' home. Well, we just walked around and we looked at the landscape, we looked at the flowers and whatever else we needed to look at. And it was a chance for the class members to see directly some of the principles that we talked about in class. So this was a very wonderful thing that we started doing a few years ago. And finally, there's a plant clinic team in Alexandria that has, in the off season between October and Alexandria, they have their first Saturday of the month. Instead of going to the plant clinic, they go to the restaurant and they have breakfast together. And I just think that's wonderful. I hope it's still going on. So I'm going to stop there and pass it back to Leslie. But I want to, again, thank you for your time to be here with us tonight. And I want to thank all the Extension Master Gardeners who are on this here tonight for their time as well. I'm available for any of you to ask questions. Here's my email right here. And of course, that is my cell phone number because our office numbers are not available at the moment. Thank you very much.
All right. Hi, folks. I'm Leslie Fillmore. Kirsten, if you can stop sharing your screen, I'm going to start sharing my screen. Let's see. Hang on one second. This is always fun. Okay. All right. I hope you can now see my screen here. Kirsten, does it look good? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Everything look good? All right. Okay, folks. So I used to often hear master gardeners saying that they had no idea what they were getting into when they had signed up for this volunteer training program. And so I actually put together this, this little presentation because I am hoping to solve that problem. So anyway, hang on, I'm still moving a couple things around on my screen. Thank you. All right, so the first thing I want to do is talk about the phrase master gardener volunteer. And people look at that word master and they think, yeah, I'm going to take this training and I'm going to be a master. I'm going to learn everything that I need to know about gardening. And I think what people end up finding out is that as the gardener, you are continually learning. So we learn a lot, but you come to understand that there's so much out there that it's actually enjoyable just to continue learning. And that's something you'll do in this program. The next word is gardener. You might think that's the most important phrase in Master Gardener Volunteer. Of course, we're gonna, spend time growing vegetables and planting native shrubs. But you would be surprised that we not only value your gardening skills, but we also value many of your other skills. Are you a great public speaker? Do you have a financial background? Do you know how to work websites? We appreciate all of those things. So it's not just gardening that we are looking for. And actually the most important word in that phrase, Master Gardener Volunteer, is volunteer. And often this word gets to be overlooked, but this is actually what you're signing up to do when you sign up to take the training. It's you will take what you learn in the class and share it with your community. So we just want to make sure everybody understands, this is a volunteer program. All right, so our application process is going to open next week. We'll open it on October 1st. You'll have to fill out 3 forms, which I will be emailing out, and we will also post on our website. Normally I would have you drop those off to me at our Fairlington office, but this year I'll ask you to either PDF them and mail them back to me, or you can, if it's easier for you, you can actually mail hard copies to me too. We will be collecting applications through October and possibly early November. This year we're planning to take 20 students instead of our normal 30 students. We are hoping that at some point we will get back to being able to do some things live and in person, and we think it will be better if we have a smaller group at that time to kind of keep our numbers in good shape. All right, after we receive your applications, we will conduct interviews with people whose applications we are wanting to find out more about. And so those will probably happen October, November timeframe. And then we will be notifying folks no later than early January for their acceptance into the class. Hopefully we'll be able to do it a little bit before then. At that time, payment will be due to reserve your class spot. So until we have your check and have officially reserved your spot in class, that's what you will need to do. And our costs are actually the same as last year, $255 for Arlington and City of Alexandria residents and $305 for non-residents. And we do have partial scholarships available. So if finances are a concern for you, please do fill out the scholarship form as well, because we don't want it cost to prohibit anybody from taking the class. Okay, so this year we're going to have a very different class than we normally do. The format we are currently looking at is going to be, we'll have our regular topics, as Kirsten said, botany, soils, things like that, but those sessions will be pre-recorded. They'll each be about 2 hours, and each week we'll cover 2 different topics. So there'll be about 4 hours of watching pre-recorded sessions during the week at your own convenience. So the nice thing is that you'll be able to fit that into your schedule however that works for you. Then on Tuesday evenings from 7 to 9 o'clock, we plan to have a live Zoom call. So that's where we'll actually have a chance to get to know each other, to do class business, do things like our regular frequently asked questions, where you prepare a 3-minute presentation on a prearranged question, and then you'll present it to the class. That gives you a chance to practice your public education skills. We'll also have the speakers on for the 2 topics of the week, and that way you'll be able to do questions and answers with the speakers. So this is going to be a very interactive time. We'll ask that you have your cameras on, that you're engaged, that you participate. The last 2 nights I've spent doing back to school nights with my kids' teachers, and I'd say about 75% of the parents did not want to have their cameras on. And I completely understood that. I didn't want to have my camera on either, but it was hard for the teachers to get to know anybody or see anybody. So just be aware that, you know, that's something we'll be looking for, is people to have their cameras on and be ready to participate. All right, now I'm going to talk a little bit about the 3 main forms that we're going to ask you to fill out. So the questionnaire is your opportunity to share with us what you want us to know about you. So we used to have a very small questionnaire where you had to write teeny tiny writing, and it was hard to read, and you couldn't really expand on anything. So in the questionnaire, we now ask you about your gardening background, if you've done other volunteer experience. And I do want to mention about the gardening background, you don't need to be an expert gardener or a long-term gardener. We welcome people who are new to gardening as well. In 2015, I took the class and I was brand new to gardening. So that's not anything that should hold you back. If we do have a large number of applications, this questionnaire is going to be how we're figuring out who looks to be a good fit for the class. So I encourage you to, you know, take your time on it, to really put down as much detail as you want to share, and we will appreciate that. And we also want you to share your non-gardening skills, because as I mentioned, there are many talents that we use in this program. Are you a writer, or are you a photographer? Do you like working on websites? Do you love public speaking? We love public speakers. So can you speak another language? Those are all things that we would like you to tell us about on the questionnaire. All right, the second form is just a standard Virginia Cooperative Extension volunteer application. One thing I do want to mention about this is part of our process does involve doing a background check. It's a basic background check. So if you want to volunteer for us, just understand that that is something that will need to be completed. You will also tell us a little bit about your volunteer availability, and that's really more relevant to after you complete your internship. And we have a media release so we can use your pictures in things like our brochures and presentations like this. And Kirsten touched on a couple of this. This is our volunteer agreement, and this is a form where we really want to make sure that you understand what you're signing up for. So I'm going to talk just quickly about a couple of these things. The first one will be that you will commit to watching the pre-recorded sessions, to attending the live Zoom sessions, and doing the homework and the reading. So if you don't feel like you have time in your life right now to do that, and it's a busy time for a lot of people. A lot of people are dealing with many things they're not normally doing. Just consider that in advance. If you know you have conflicts on Tuesday night, this class is not going to work for you. So we would encourage you to come back and attend when the classes fit your schedule. The second thing I want to emphasize out of this is that the internship is equally or more important than attending the classes. So when you sign up to take the program, you're not just signing up to take the classes, but you're also signing up saying that you're willing to spend the following year completing a 60-hour internship. It's a significant commitment. 20 of those hours are spent in our demonstration gardens. We do 9 hours on the help desk, 10 hours at plant clinics. And then we do an intern project that's about 21 hours, so about a third of your hours requirement. And those vary each year. So next year may be a little different in that requirement. Like last year, for instance, our class, the help desk closed down. That's normally a weekday commitment that you do 3 sessions over the course of 1 year for 3 hours each. So we're working now to help our interns do that remotely, but we do want you to plan for that. Please let it be open again by the time we get through the next, the next course. So just be aware that that is a weekday commitment. All right, let's see, a couple other things. You will need to complete annual paperwork every year. Kirsten mentioned that we have risk management and civil rights requirements every 3 years. And then once you certify, you're also agreeing on this form that you will do 20 hours of volunteering per year and 8 hours of continuing education. That's our regular requirement for certified extension master gardeners. All right, so now that we've covered all those rules and requirements and you feel like you're probably signing your life away, you may be asking yourself, why do you want to be an extension master gardener? Well, one, you'll be joining Virginia Cooperative's Extension's network of incredible volunteers. And that we're not just master gardeners at VCE, we're also include programs like 4-H, master finance volunteers, master food volunteers. It's really a wonderful organization to be a part of. We do great work. I mean, the lovely thing about working with this group is that everybody wants to be here and we're all supporting the mission of taking care of our planet. So it's just wonderful to be a part of an organization where everybody cares about that and is spending their time and reaching out to the public to teach them how to take care of the planet. All right, so next, Kirsten mentioned our website, mgnv.org, and I can, after we finish the presentation and meet some of our volunteers, I can show you what that looks like if you haven't seen it. I also forgot to mention with our class format, the learning platform that we will be using is called Canvas. If you have school-age kids, your kids are likely using Canvas for school. So I can show us what that looks like as soon as we meet our master gardeners. So if you want to see what that's going to look like, you can stick around a little bit later and I can pull that up and show you. But right now we're going to meet some of our master gardeners. We've got a terrific bunch here and they're going to just tell you which class they're from and maybe their favorite things about master gardening. We have some folks that went through the training class last year. So you can feel free, if we have time, we'll do breakout rooms so you can ask them questions directly. And then you can also ask Kirsten and I questions after we come back from that. So let's get started. I'm gonna ask Judy Salveson to unmute herself and turn on her camera if she's available. I'm pretty sure I saw her. Let me see.
Oh, okay.
There she is.
I'm Judy Salveson. I took the class in 2012 while I was still working. And so once 2013 started, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to grow and work I wanted to grow vegetables in the organic vegetable garden at Potomac Overlook. And so that's where I've been volunteering since 2013 every year. It's a great place to talk to people about gardening. People come wandering in there all the time. Every time I'm there, there's somebody who's looking around, people with kids. So it's a fun place to be to answer questions. But one of the best things about volunteering at the organic vegetable garden up at Potomac Overlook, I don't know if everybody's been there or if any of you've been there, but if you haven't, it's a great park. So you should come and see this vegetable garden. My favorite thing is on Wednesday mornings, we now again can have volunteer opportunities. So now we're limited to 10 volunteers on Wednesday morning, right now from 8:30 to 10:30. And we start the garden in March by clearing the beds and planting, and it operates, we have regular work parties until November, when we plant the garlic and close everything up. So the reason why work parties are fun, because my husband says, how come you're calling it a party? All you do is work. And I said, well, it's really great because you meet other gardeners to work with. And I tell you, everybody shares information they have, not only about growing things, but how to cook the things we pick. So I've seen intensely the corner of Master Gardeners that works up at Potomac Overlook, and I've volunteered for other things, but this is my first love. And so if you'd like to learn more about vegetable gardening or share what you know with the rest of us and share it with the people who come, this is a good place to work.
All right, thanks so much, Judy. All right, next up we have Elaine Mills. Go ahead, Elaine.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Elaine Mills. I'm actually a classmate of Judy's from the class of 2012. The thing I love about the Master Gardener program is that after we all go through the same training, we have opportunities to fulfill the mission of serving the public, serving the community, educating folks in a variety of ways. There are so many different sub-programs within the Master Gardener program that can use our particular interests and our particular skills. Like Judy, I enjoy very much working in the gardens, and I'm actually one of the co-coordinators in the Glen Carlin Library Community Garden. Our garden is very different. It actually has a lot of small garden rooms. It has a small Asian garden, a section of tropical plants. We have an herb garden, a section of shade plants and sun plants. And a big focus for us as far as demonstration and education goes is modeling sustainable landscaping practices. You can't quite see it here, but there is, for example, a big cistern here that we use for collecting rainwater and watering our plants. We have soaker hoses running through a good part of the garden, and we also demonstrate water-wise planting in very warm parking lot beds. I very much enjoy writing and taking photographs, so it's fun for me to collaborate with the other members of the social media committee. That committee, in addition to having other writers and photographers and videographers, has a group of editors and tech gurus. And we operate in a number of different ways. We have, as both Kirsten and Leslie have mentioned, the MGNV website, where we post weekly articles on all aspects of gardening. In addition, we have a Facebook page and an Instagram page, and that's where I've enjoyed doing posts, weekly posts, and on Facebook and daily posts on Instagram of native plants, which is a big interest of mine. And a third way that I enjoy interacting with the public is through public ed presentations. Normally, we would be doing this by showing up in various public libraries for in-person presentations. And we give presentations in a variety of areas on best management practices, on sustainable landscaping, and urban agriculture. Right now, with the pandemic underway, we have been using the Zoom technology to present one public education class a week every Friday morning. And this is just one example. This is actually a PowerPoint for a presentation that I'm going to be giving tomorrow morning on native ground covers for sun and shade. So there's space for everyone here to represent a wide variety of interests and a wide variety of abilities. Hope you join us.
Thanks, Elaine. All right, next up we got Joe Kelly.
Hi, my name is Joe Kelly. I'm locally, my main participation in Arlington, Alexandria is one of the co-coordinators of our Sunny Garden, which is another one of our demonstration teaching gardens located in Bon Air Park. That garden next May will be 30 years old, so it's been there for a while. And one of the fun parts about working at Sunny Garden is having a place where we can show, that's the purpose of the demonstration garden, show the public when we're not there, you know, have them enjoy it and see what kind of sunny perennials can be grown in this environment, in this area. And then when we are there, that's even more fun, because we always have a lot of people coming through the park and stopping and talking to us. And gosh, what is that? What's the name of that? Where can I find some of that? And well, would you like for us to dig you up some? You know, so it's a lot of fun. And like the other garden reps have mentioned, this is just you know, it's work, but it's fun work, and it's a lot of good public relationship. Now, another thing that I do, I've been involved in some of the administrative parts of our organization. In 2007, when I happened to be president of our local Master Gardener Association, I went to Master Gardener College, which is put on at Virginia Tech every summer. And that's a continuing education thing for Master Gardeners from all over the state. And I found out that the Virginia Master Gardener Association did not have a representative at the time from our Master Gardeners of Northern Virginia. So I volunteered to do that. So for the last 13 years, I've been representative from Master Gardeners of Northern Virginia to the Virginia Master Gardener Association. And then I recently completed 4 years on the board, the executive board of that association, and 2 of those years I was president of the state association. I'm also now on the planning committee for Master Gardener College, the Master Gardener College advisory team. That's a real fun thing to go and hear all kind of good classes and take in a lot of educational opportunity, but it's also a good social thing, because you find ability to mingle and meet and get ideas from Master Gardeners from all over the Commonwealth. This coming year, in 2021, instead of having a Master Gardener College, the Virginia Tech Master Gardener program, the Virginia Master Gardener Association are hosting the International Master Gardener Conference, which is going to be in Norfolk next September 12 through 17. So that's something you can think about if you know, when you've completed some of your training here and things. That's something you think about signing up. Maybe not for the international, but for future Master Gardener colleges. So I've said enough.
Thanks so much, Joe. All right, next up we have Jasmine DeCourcy.
Hello, my name is Jasmine and I work in the Fairlington Teaching Garden. This garden is a partly shady small garden, indicative of the types of yards that Arlington County and Alexandria City residents have to work with. My interest is focused on food production and supporting pollinators. Working with Kirsten, as you see in this picture, and other master gardeners, we're transitioning the garden into a perennial food forest, so we can teach both ourselves and the public how to grow food in small spaces. I enjoy working in this garden and watching it transform. I also enjoy teaching classes on seed starting, winter sowing, and season extension. That's all I got, Leslie.
All right, thanks, Jasmine. All right, Angela, you're up.
Hi, everyone. I'm Angela McNamara. I am a member of the board of directors. I'm part of the mentor committee, which is a group of the folks on the board have formed in order to understand better how to support you as trainees and when you become interns. I'm speaking in the future tense and as if you're all going to be joining and becoming master gardeners like I am. And I also do many of the things that you've heard my fellow master gardeners talk about. I work in the demonstration gardens and enjoy it very much. I started off in the Master Gardener program. I'm for the class of 18. So I did my training in the year of 2018. I did my internship in the year 2019. And at the end of 2019, I was elected to come on to the board of directors. And now I've been serving on the board in 2020. In addition to that, I have been asked to talk to you a little bit about the training program, kind of what I liked and some of the challenges. The thing I liked very much about the Master Gardener training program was that I learned so much. I learned about things I had no idea that I would be learning about. I learned about things that I suspected I would be learning about. I found some things to be challenging, like learning about Latin and biology. I thought, gee, I think I did that in high school. Now I'm doing it again in my 50s. What happened here? But the good news for you is that you don't have to memorize anything. There are always references that you can go back and look at and use. You don't have to, literally, you do not have to memorize anything. We all have valuable resources that we use. As Elaine mentioned, the lovely Master Gardeners of Northern Virginia website is a tremendous resource that I still use. Whenever the folks brag about how many people we've had visiting the website, I say, well, you need to take the number of times I've been on the website this month out of that factor, because I've been there multiple times and I'm almost always going to the tried and true plants of the Mid-Atlantic to check out what's the right plant to be growing in a particular situation, to either for my own benefit in my own yard or to help my neighbors, or in doing research for the public education that we do. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the board of directors. The board, as you can see, I joined the board as a very young master gardener. I've only been a master gardener now for just over 2 years. And it's a very diverse group of people. Joe Kelly, who spoke, is a member of the board. Lorraine, who may be speaking after me, is a member of the board. And everybody brings different skill sets to it, and the skill sets are varied. Some people have IT backgrounds, some people have finance backgrounds, some people have organizational skills. And no matter what skills you have, whether you're a master gardener and you choose to just apply it doing master gardening and helping the public and educating them, or whether you decide to be in a leadership position and join the board and or serve on the various committees, there are different skill sets, as Leslie said, that are needed by us as master gardeners that can be drawn upon. Everybody doesn't have to be good at everything, and we're not expecting everyone to be good at everything. And I want to reiterate what Leslie said, you don't need to know anything about gardening to be a good master gardener. So that's all I have, Leslie, unless you have anything for me.
That's it.
Pass it on to the next person.
Thank you, Angela. All right, next we have Lorraine Fishback.
Hello, everybody. I joined the Master Gardener program in the class of 2008, which is a very long time ago. Like some of us, I had retired and I was looking for something to do to connect back to my community. And it served such a great purpose. I live in Alexandria, and so I go to the plant clinic at the Old Town Farmers Market, which Kirsten featured the breakfast that we have, which is wonderful in the winter. We arrange carpools to go to continuing education symposiums. We like the one that's put on by Brookside Garden and the one that's put on by oh gosh, I'm blanking on it right now. But at any rate, it's a wonderful way to make friends in your community. And also I volunteer at the Simpson Gardens and have made many friends there. So it's just a great way to connect to your community, many activities that support that. And as Angela said, I'm on the board. It's my final year on the board. And the board supports a lot of the stuff that we do. And we have, by raising funds, we have a plant sale every year at Green Spring Gardens, where on good years, we take, first of all, we take plants that have been divided up in the demonstration gardens and in our own personal gardens. So we don't really buy plants. We have plants that we've donated. In good years, we make $2,000. In wonderful years, like in 2019, we made $7,000. So that, along with our dues, supports MGNV board and the Master Gardener programs. So it's been a wonderful experience for me, and I've been a Master Gardener for a very long time, and I recommend it highly.
Thank you, Lorraine. All right, and we're gonna finish off tonight with
Wait, go back.
Okay.
We have a potential master gardener asking what's wrong with these plants.
Oh my gosh. Kirsten, please.
Kirsten's gonna address this.
You please.
The picture on the left is of a cherry tree, okay? The pictures of a cherry tree, and all that sticky stuff coming out of it is sap. And this is a condition that's known as gummosis. And gummosis is caused by a variety of reasons. One of the reasons it can be injury. One of the reasons can be insect boring into it. And sometimes it's a symptom of or a sign of disease, okay? So a thorough analysis of the growing conditions of this tree and the overall conditions of it and the specific underlying factors here would be necessary to make a more fuller diagnosis in that. The picture on the right is of a very beautiful redbud tree. And oh no, Leslie, what's the name of it?
Rising Sun. See, I'm still learning. Rising Sun, you told me.
Rising Sun. This is a cultivar of redbud, which is a native tree that has that beautiful, beautiful peach-colored variegation on the ends of the new growth.
I thought there was something wrong with the tree because the ends were turning color and the rest of the tree was green. And so I took a picture of it and asked Kirsten, what's wrong with this tree? And she said, nothing. That's just what it does. It's a beautiful variety that does that. So that is a major lesson you'll learn with Master Gardeners. The first thing you want to do is identify your plant so you know if there's actually something wrong with it or if that's just the way it is. And that the gummosis is on my neighbor's cherry tree. So I'm gonna have to let them know what's going on there. All right. And here we're gonna finish up. We have two members of the class of 2019. We're gonna start with Debbie Keefe.
Okay, So Leslie asked me to talk a little bit about what I liked most about the Master Gardener training and what I'm enjoying about my internship. I was in the class of 2019, as she said. I made a list of the top 10 things.
Oh my goodness, yay.
10 and 9 are Kirsten and Leslie for their knowledge and organization. 8 and 7 are their flexibility and determination to help us get through this particular class and complete the program in a time when, you know, we can't be together. 6 is the phenomenal speakers for the classes. They were experts in their fields and have so much knowledge and information. It's just, they're amazing. 5 and 4 were the hands-on activities and the demonstration gardens. 3 is the depth of knowledge and experience of the Master Gardeners who, you know, we met in the class and we continued to work with during the internship. 2 is their willingness to share and teach and mentor us. And 1, the friendships that we made in the class and that I continue to make as I work through this program. Leslie also asked if I would talk just a minute about some of the challenges. I would say that one of the biggest challenges was I was working with a partner and in the midst of planning to be in an elementary school to work with after school group, a 4-H club of second graders. And then things changed, schools closed, and on a dime, we turned that around and my partner and I ended up doing a presentation, a webinar for extended day staff. We put together videos, slideshow. We did a live 1-hour presentation with questions and answers. It was recorded. The technology piece of it, I'm still learning. Again, had fantastic support, both from the 4-H agent in Arlington County and others. But that was one really big challenge. The other, you know, is that I'm in my happy place in a classroom where I'm learning, and also when I'm digging in a garden. But so the trainee piece of this program is just, it was a pleasure for me. It is a challenge right now to, you know, to go to a demonstration garden and wear a mask to work. It's a challenge, well, it's been a challenge figuring out how to do the help desk piece of it. I had done one session on site at Arlington, but now, you know, we, again, through perseverance, we're working it out and we're gonna get it done. So that, I guess what I'm saying is that it is a commitment. It's a real commitment, but it's certainly worth it. And I would encourage anybody to participate.
Great. Thank you so much, Debbie. All right, and we're going to wrap up today with Tonda Fallon, who was also in the class of 2019, but I just think it's very interesting. She's also a returning Master Gardener. She was a Master Gardener previously and took a pretty significant break, but then came back to our program. So say hello to Tonda.
Hi, I'm Tonda Fallon, and yes, I am class of 2019. But I was also class of 1998, believe it or not. I served as an Extension Master Gardener from 1998 to 2011. And in those 13 years, I did a little bit of everything. I have a call coming in that I have to get rid of. Sorry about that. I worked at the Simpson Park Gardens, both doing work parties and doing garden events, public garden events, which was a lot of fun. I helped install the tufa and the butterfly gardens there. I don't know if Kirsten and Leslie even know that. I worked on the website, the original website, and this is really going to date me. The listserv, if anyone has, oh my God. So hang on. My college daughters are trying to FaceTime with me, and they always pick the most inopportune moment to do that. So I also was on the membership, I was membership chair and worked on the education committee and the communications committee during those 13 years. What else did I do? I did some some education programs, speakers bureaus, and okay. Calling me. I also served on the board from 2009 to 2011, and I was the treasurer. And no, guys, I don't want to do that again. So,
we're looking
yeah.
for a treasurer.
So yeah, but anyway, so yes, I took a break and then I missed it so much, and I decided to come back and took the class in 2019. Haven't had a chance to do a whole lot of things. I assisted in a couple of education programs, and just recently redesigned the demonstration garden brochure. So when all of you guys come to visit the gardens, you'll have to check out that brochure. It's pretty cool. The thing that I just want to say is that it is an amazing bunch of people. The training is incredible. And it really opens doors that you might not ever even have imagined. I had the pleasure of working at the American Horticultural Society for a while. This was while I was a master gardener before. I did a archaeological dig at Gunston Hall when they were restoring their gardens. It was fascinating. But, you know, I mean, part of the reason that I was able to do those things is because I was a master gardener. And I've also recently been doing a lot of stuff with the Smithsonian Institute. I was in their orchid exhibit in 2019 as a docent. And after that, I started working at the National Museum of Natural History, which is a mouthful, as a botany digitizer. And I basically take photos of their plants in their herbarium. And honestly, I can chalk all of that up, I think, to falling in love with gardening through the Master Gardener program, and gaining an amazing amount of knowledge just by being a volunteer, extension Master Gardener volunteer, and the amazing support that you get from the organization in learning stuff and helping other people. And I'm just a huge fan of it, obviously, because I couldn't stay away and they've got me again. So, so seriously, I mean, it's an incredible experience. And if you are even hesitating, know that you've got help. Everybody's here to kind of help each other, which is nice too.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Tanda. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. And we're going to real quick do just maybe 5 minutes in breakout rooms. And so hang on one second. Apparently, I don't have my breakout room option anymore. Kirsten, I think that's because you're the host. You'll make me the host. I'm not seeing it happening. All right, well, we will skip breakout rooms, but what I want to do at this point is allow folks to unmute themselves and just ask any questions that you have. And if you have a specific person you want to ask, go ahead and address it to them. Kirsten, were you watching questions in the chat? You're muted.
So yes, there really aren't very many questions. There's Jennifer Davis asked whether we could get a copy of the slides, please.
Yeah, we will be posting it.
Sloan Carroll would like to know if how many active extension master gardeners there are in Arlington, Alexandria.
They're about, I think we're at about 230 active master gardeners right now.
Okay. Rita Holt is asking, what is the weekday commitment?
So for our virtual class this year, the weekday commitment will be Tuesday, I'm sorry, in February, when we start classes in February, the weekday commitment will be Tuesday evenings. And then the other commitment that is normally a weekday commitment is our help desk sessions when those are operating in person. The help desk normally runs Monday through Friday from 9 to 12. So that requirement has you coming in 3 times over the course of a year, once per season for a half day. Most of the rest of the things have some flexibility, like our demonstration garden work days. Many of them have weekend or weekday options.
Thank you.
Okay. Could you please put the class schedule back up on the screen for a moment?
Okay. Get there. I assume they're looking for the dates. There you go.
Okay, could you speak a little bit about the cost of the program, and especially if there's anything beyond the application fee?
The application fee does include all of the costs for the program. What that covers is we have some speakers that we pay an honorarium to. You get a very large bag of books, which you will still be getting, including the Master Gardener Handbook, although this year they are giving those out digitally. Let's see, what else does it cover? Sometimes we had to, well, previously we had only rented 2 rooms. That shouldn't be a problem, but that was just a small part of the fee. Let's see, Kirsten, anything else spring to mind? Oh, we do have to also pay the Virginia State Program a fee. And so our cost covers that as well.
Okay. Aside from the camaraderie that develops with the incoming class, what do you anticipate will be the biggest drawback from a teaching standpoint of having to go virtual for the season?
Well, we are hoping to use the same speakers that we had live, but it's going to be recorded. So it's really kind of up to, some people will see this as a benefit because it allows them a lot more flexibility of when they can watch the presentations, whereas others will likely see that as a drawback because now instead of, sitting in a classroom together and being able to interact during the presentation, you'll be watching the presentation by yourself, but then you'll have this 2-hour class period where we're all together. And, that's where we'll be doing our interacting.
Okay, Nicole McGrew would like to know whether the internship will begin in April or May following the final class, or could it overlap with any of the classes?
We usually complete the classwork and then begin the internships. So the class is expected to, finish in April, and that's when your official start to the internship would get started. You'll have 1 year from the end of classes to complete that internship. Sometimes
I guess I could add to that to say that we don't expect you to do a race to the finish. There's enough material during the class time that we want you to concentrate on this training material and not worry about having to get your internship hours in before the end of the actual classroom portion of the training. Many of you will become involved with the demonstration gardens. Do start up sometime around the middle of March or something like that. And certainly once you have your risk management training, you can go out and volunteer in the gardens. And but we don't want you to feel like you have to do that before you finish the actual classroom training.
Yeah, I would say demo gardens is one area where interns sometimes are ready to go ahead and get out, because at these work days, there are the garden leads at those gardens. So you can go and they will, you know, talk to you specifically about what you would work on that day. So demo gardens is one area that sometimes master garden or trainees feel confident enough to go and get started.
I'm going to throw this question out to any of the master gardeners who are listening to this. How much reading would you say is required each week?
A fair amount.
A lot.
A good bunch.
It's a lot of reading. Yeah. It's not just the classroom, like you're watching the presentation. What is it? 2 hours for each one? Chris, is that right?
Yeah,
Then
there'll be
there's-
about 4 hours of presentations a week.
So the 4 hours in presentations are covering multiple chapters in the book you're going to get, and you need to read those chapters before you see the presentation. So there's a lot of reading, and it's not just the book. Sometimes there's additional supplemental reading that's not part of the, I call it the binder, the official binder. So you're reading that, and then there's supplemental reading that goes with it. Sometimes you need to do a little bit of research. You're going to be very busy. Trust me, you're not going to have time to do your internship while you're being a trainee.
Chris Pepin had, thank you everybody. Chris Pepin asked, if I was it right, asked if the training is in Arlington.
It's normally held at the Fairlington Community Center in South Arlington, which is right on the border with Alexandria. So that has, until this year, has always been our kind of like our home base, and it's where the VCE office is as well. That will not obviously play into as much, you know, with a virtual class. And then the demonstration gardens, Simpson Garden is in Alexandria, and there's a garden at Fairlington, which is close to Alexandria, and the rest of the gardens are in Arlington. So that's where that's where the volunteer work would be done.
Okay, could you talk, Leslie, a little bit more about the Canvas platform and how the recordings will be made available?
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing this presentation. I'm gonna try to pull that up and show that. Okay, well first, real quick, I'm just gonna show you our MGNV website here. This is an area where you could learn where the demonstration gardens are. Here's where you can sign up for our public education. These are the tried and true resources that Angela spoke about and Elaine helped develop that are such an excellent resource. And then, hang on, I need to move my stuff around here. This is some like good resources for you and programs that are going on, tell you about the help desk and the plant clinics, etc. And these are just some basic resources. And now let me stop sharing that and get to Canvas.
While she's doing that, I'm going to tell you guys that we have outdoor classrooms as well, you know, and we are going to try very hard to integrate to mix up our online trainings with in-person in the garden trainings as well, so that you get a chance to go outside and actually practice your pruning. You practice, you know, your plant propagation class will be outside. So there'll be plenty of hands-on stuff during the course of the coursework.
Right, and back to a question that we were asked earlier about like how would this class, you know, would be the main differences between this class and our regular class, is we do a lot of hands-on activities in the classroom. We would have people bring in, you know, diseased plants, and we would do like a practice plant clinic and such forth. So that will be either we'll be trying to do it virtually, or as Kirsten says, if we're allowed to gather at that time, maybe we will be having, you know, a meeting at Fairlington where we can all get together. And we do hope, as Kirsten was saying, to have some classes out in the field, which we did during, you know, we always do, where we visit either gardens. Kirsten does a propagation class outside. We're hoping to do a pruning class, etc. All right, so now can you guys see this Master Gardener? Is that sharing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can.
So this is not our training page. This is the state's kind of mock-up of a training page. And so you have this module, and it will have kind of like our different topics there. And so then you would click on it. It works pretty much like any website, except that, like, for instance, this one will have, you know, videos. Might take a second to load here. So you'll be able to click through to like all these types of things. And let me go back to the modules. You'll see like topics will be listed out. So that would be, I don't think we're gonna have 8 for botany, hopefully, but we'll have like one module per topic. And then underneath it, it will include resources that are available there. So this is how the state has set up kind of their system. But this would be like an example of where you would go in to click on the presentations that you'll be watching.
So Leslie, you envision all of these modules will be available to all students for the entire year?
Well, we're hoping to have as many of them, you know, put up in advance as we can. Some of them may be popping up, you know, like 2 weeks before, but that would allow, for the ones that are already up, that would allow you to work ahead if you had extra time 1 week. Sometimes, as with the reading, sometimes there's certain chapters that are really long, like the vegetable chapter is really long. So, you know, you might not have extra time that week, but 1 week you might have like 2 shorter chapters. And so you might be interested in working ahead. So again, you can just kind of see topics that link, you know, so here we have videos, and then we have, you know, reading you could do.
There's a question here I'm going to answer by way of just while we're looking at this, and that is somebody asked about programs, whether you can take the program here but live in Leesburg. And the answer is not really. The program is set up for you to become a volunteer in the jurisdiction in which you take the training. If you live in Leesburg, we encourage you to get in touch with the Loudoun County Master Gardener program. If you live in Fairfax County, they have 2 Master Gardener programs in Fairfax County. If you live in Manassas, there is a Prince William County Master Gardener program. And all of these programs, while they have certain similarities, there are very big differences too, having to do with the fact that they serve different needs in their local jurisdictions. So besides the issues of commuting, when you take the training in order to become certified as a Master Gardener in our program, you need to do your certification hours, your internship in Arlington and Alexandria.
Right, and interns do a lot of work for our program, and so it would be harmful to our program to be taking people in through the class who were not going to do an internship with us.
A question here that's related, Leslie. How long will these students have to complete their internship?
So the current plan is, well, first of all, I'm going to say it will depend, because normally you have 1 year from the time the class is complete to finish up. Now, class of 2019 is the perfect example. They got a 6-month extension, and in some cases it may go a little bit longer because they were, you know, the things that they needed to be working on shut down. So they did not have the ability to come in and do the help desk with us in person. Same thing for plant clinics. So those 2 factors kind of really slowed them down in getting their internships completed. So they've gotten an extension for their program. Some of those issues we will have resolved by the time this next class would start up. Like, we're working with that class to get their help desk hours done virtually. And so it would be hopeful that we would have that in place and be able to do it virtually, if not in person. So again, the typical amount of time is 1 year to complete the 60-hour internship. And if there are extenuating circumstances, then we can flex that.
Okay, Chris has a question. I'm probably going to mess it up, Chris. So if you want to turn your microphone on and you put your camera on, that's fine. But Chris asked, I think, whether or not Master Gardener volunteers can help to develop programs for Master Gardeners to work on. And the answer is yes. And the perfect example is the Small Trees Make Big Canopies program that is listed on the Master Gardener website. This is a project that 2 of last year's interns decided we needed to have. And I tell every class that you are my eyes and ears and hands out in the community. And you are as well suited to know what's going on and what's needed as I am. So what we need to do is to make sure that those projects get approved, that we design them. And another great example is the work that's being done on the social media outreach efforts. Those are all generated by Master Gardeners. Education team develops needs based on their perception of what we have not covered in a while and local need, and we design a program to cover it. So if I didn't answer your question, go ahead and
Yeah, I'm wondering if you can develop another nonprofit within Master Gardeners.
For what purpose?
I'm in the process of developing a nonprofit farm that is both a community and youth-driven organization that is centered around farming and creating the conversation of local foods and providing education to people in the community. And that's one reason I ask about creating programs. But this is something I'm working on and taking classes in right now as developing my nonprofit concept.
Well, the short answer to your question is it probably is not a great fit because the program is partially defined by local need here, but it's also defined by the state program, by the state Master Gardener program with cooperative extension. And so certainly we have a very robust urban agriculture outreach, and perhaps there's a way for you to accommodate your interest within those project confines.
Okay, I just had one related question to that about being able to use the Master Gardener status within a nonprofit organization, being that it wouldn't be for personal gain.
The Master Gardener label is recognized by nonprofits, and certainly those of our volunteers who have worked at places like Hillwood or American Horticulture Society and so on are, by the way, outside of our jurisdictions, certainly enjoy the added benefit of being recognized for their talent, but it cannot be used as a means of personal gain or commercial gain.
Okay.
So there was a related question from Tina about working at the Hillwood Museum's gardens. And so, no, that would not count as internship time because that would be outside, that's in Washington, D.C. And if that's a project that is very important to you, you may wish to become trained within the Master Gardener program in Washington, D.C. Another question is a homeowners association. Many of our Master Gardeners who are certified become active with their community HOA landscape committees. We have very robust HOAs in Fairlington, and many Master Gardeners who live nearby are involved with those HOAs, and they're doing some really good work. So the answer is that once you complete your internship, there may be a way to accommodate that local need. But the internship is divided up into, is considered the second year of your training. Okay, the internship is divided up into hours spent at the help desk in the plant clinics, hours spent at the demonstration gardens, hours spent on public education and or other projects that you may become involved with. So there are that are defined during your internship by the need of the program. Leslie, you want to say anything else about that?
I think you covered it.
Okay. I don't think I see any other questions.
All right.
Oh, I have one more.
What?
Sorry. I'm not getting time to write it down. Basically, your general information about the Master Gardeners is the same throughout Northern Virginia, would you know? Because I accidentally got on the wrong Zoom company. Leslie, I'm supposed to have been with Barbara in Loudoun County. I already have that connection, but for your Zoom and her Zoom was right next to each other. I got the wrong Zoom. So hello, everyone. I'm like getting all this information. I'm assuming it's all the same, basically.
The class format may be quite different. What Master Gardeners do within their communities is probably somewhat the same, although, you know, different groups might have, actually, Kirsten's probably better equipped to answer this. You know, different groups have different numbers of demonstration gardens or don't have demonstration gardens or have.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
Kirsten, but the general classes that we're going to be doing, they're going to be the same, aren't they?
The topics covered are probably similar.
Great. Well, it's great to meet all of you. I'll see you.
All right, thanks. Thanks, Lee.
Okay, there is one more question that just came in, Leslie. Is the help desk volunteering only in Arlington, or is it done at satellite locations?
Well, the physical help desk is actually located at the Fairlane Community Center in South Arlington. So it has been manned remotely during COVID because our building is closed and we have not been able to get to it, but that is not our regular operating procedure. If we are able to gather again in person at the time of the internship, then the help desk requirement will be at the Fairlington Community Center. If we're not gathering in person at that time, then we will likely offer the remote option again.
I can add to that to say that the current team of help desk volunteers, which by the way are fielding email queries for assistance at a rate of about 40% greater than last year. These team of 5 volunteers that are chairing this work have also just taken on the job with additional individuals, experienced individuals, to train the class of 2019 to finish their internship. So that is being done remotely. So the answer to your question, Chris, is yeah, it is sort of satellite location at the moment. But at some point, the ability to have our lab in operation again at Fairlington would be a wonderful thing to be able to enhance your training.
And I do see that Tonda had put in the chat, and this is a good point. Plant clinics are are another aspect of the internship, and those are at different locations throughout Arlington County and the city of Alexandria because they take place at several different farmers markets. So those are 2 separate requirements, but that is something that you would be, is more spread out through the county. All right. Well, if we don't have any other questions, if you do have any other questions, please feel free to contact me. You should all have my email address, and I will be available to answer questions. Like I said, I will be sending out the application materials October 1st, so that's 1 week from today. And we'll be looking forward to getting those. I want to give a huge thank you to all my Master Gardeners that came on tonight. Normally we would be in Fairlington and they would have set up tables and you could walk around and talk to them. So I was sad that we couldn't do it this way, but I just am so appreciative of their time and their enthusiasm and energy. So thank you to all my Master Gardeners, and I hope to see applications from the rest of you and look forward to an opportunity to getting to know you all.